Where's Hunter?
Where is Hunter?
He's right here.
On April 12, 2019, a man in his 40s is said to have brought a water-damaged Mac laptop into this Delaware store for repair. The store's owner was under the impression the person who dropped off the laptop was this guy, Hunter Biden, son of Joe.
You are certain that it was Hunter Biden's laptop?
I asked him for his name.
During repair, the store owner claims he found alarming content, and when the laptop went uncollected for 90 days, the store owner alerted the FBI, who ultimately took it, not before he made a copy for this guy.
I'm good.
This is Donald Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, shown here rummaging around his trousers. After supposedly receiving this political powder keg, Rudy did the honourable thing and eventually leaked salacious tidbits to Murdoch tabloid The New York Post, which published them on October 14.
The New York Post has verified it. You think Rupert Murdoch would let them print false material?
Heavens no.
Said tidbits include a video of Hunter having sex and pics of Hunter puffing on a durry and also smoking a crack pipe.
Well, I have to say, it sounds like something Hunter Biden would do.
But there were also purported emails from a Ukrainian business associate of Hunter's, a bloke who worked with him at Ukrainian energy company Burisma.
Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to DC and giving me an opportunity to meet your father and spend some time together.
The emails suggest Hunter was using Joe's vice presidential sway at the time to influence Ukrainian foreign policy for the betterment of Burisma, namely by forcing the removal of a government official supposedly investigating them.
Joe, they're calling you a corrupt politician.
I have not taken a single penny from any country whatsoever.
Of course, Joe Biden vehemently rejects all this.
There is no controversy about my son. It's all a lie because the president has nothing else to run on.
But those on the right are frothing.
When you look at the laptop, we call it the laptop from hell.
No one in the Biden camp has even insinuated that the emails are anything other than authentic.
Whether or not the emails are real is probably the most important part, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of should be. Thing is, a lot of people are doubting the veracity of the emails, and indeed the whole sordid story in general.
We approached a lot of people who wouldn't do it because of the consequences.
The New York Post journalists were reportedly reluctant to add their names to the story. No other media outlets could verify the legitimacy of the laptop's contents. And social media giants Facebook and Twitter chose not to allow the story to be disseminated because it breached fact-checking standards and policies around publishing hacked material.
They don't want people to hear this.
Also, more than 50 former intelligence agents signed this letter saying it felt like the work of Russian hacker scallywags.
It has been suggested that Rudy Giuliani has been palling around with Russian intelligence agents for some time, and that could be where this information came from.
I had nothing to do with Eastern Europe. I got this from the repairman.
Everything that's going on here.
This feels like one too many sequels. This is Donald Trump reaching for the old playbook. It certainly worked in 2016, but right now it seems as though this is not a rerun of Hillary Clinton's emails.
However, just days ago, another former business associate of Hunter's, Tony Bobulinski, has emerged to drop another bombshell.
I've heard Joe Biden say that he's never discussed business with Hunter. That is false.
Tony also released this email, which he claims discusses money shares in a potential deal in China.
10% held by H for the big guy. There's no question H stands for Hunter, big guy for his father, Joe Biden.
You're the big man, I think. Come on.
So I will not be taking any questions at this time.
I don't know what Tony Bobulinski is, but he doesn't really seem credible. The only problem for Joe Biden in all of this is that Hunter Biden, working for that Ukrainian energy company, looks a little bit sus. It does look like nepotism, but there is no proven corruption. And the voters really aren't buying it, so it probably just ends there.
I don't think it moves a single voter. I know that I was completely qualified.
All of the emails, the horrible emails.
What he's saying is a bunch of garbage.
I think our interview is now over.
Michael Williams has been following these developments. Michael, I think it's fair to say Trump isn't best pleased that this isn't getting traction in the major US news outlets. Why do you think it is that the media has just decided that it does not rate this story?
Well, I think there's a couple of reasons for that. Now, number one, Hunter Biden, it's sort of a story out of nowhere. You know, that really hasn't had any traction. No one knows really who Hunter Biden is. Even in Washington, D.C., he's really pretty much of a non-entity. I mean, Joe Biden is just squeaky clean. He's just never done anything over the course of 40 years. You can accuse him of a lot of things, but corruption really isn't one of them. So it's a story out of nowhere. And quite frankly, there are just far more important things to talk about than Hunter Biden at this point in the campaign. So it really hasn't gotten any traction from major outlets or really from sort of the fringier outlets in conservative politics that you would think would pick up something like this and run with it.
Michael, we do know that Trump's own kids have been profiting off his own presidency. We know his daughter Ivanka and her husband Jared have been senior White House advisors despite having no prior experience. Why aren't the Democrats going equally hard on them?
Well, when I find that out, I'll let you know. It's really astonishing to me that, again, the Republican Party would want to try to pick a food fight in this particular area because the Democrats have an entire buffet of articles to throw at the Republicans. When you talk about Jared and Ivanka being given security clearances in a situation where literally because of their entanglements, because of their debts, and because of their dealings over the years, these are people literally who couldn't get another high security job in Washington, D.C., but for the White House, where their father is the one giving out the credentials. They could not get it. I don't know why the Democrats haven't thrown harder at this. And again, I have to just go back to the story that if there wasn't COVID, I think it would be higher up the food chain of stories that they would use. But now with people's lives on the line and so much more of Trump's record to run on, they just have bigger things to talk about.
Michael, last time we spoke to you, you were confident in a Biden win. Has anything happened this week to shake your certainty?
No, not really. I mean, I have that general uncertainty because anything can happen. As we've talked about many times, I'm fully convinced that regardless of the outcome, regardless of the vote count, Donald Trump is going to contest this. Why? Because he contested an election that he won. Why wouldn't he contest an election that he lost? It's going to happen. But I will go back to a prediction that I made 4 years ago, just over 4 years ago, this week on Voice of America. And I said that whoever won, Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, it would be a one-term presidency. Probably because the policies would probably not work for just about half of the people. But as I say never. I won't be counting anything until inauguration, really.
Even inauguration, I love it. You're that cautious. Thank you very much for speaking to us, Michael. Always good to talk.
Hey, it's always a pleasure. Thank you.